thanks to you, lovely lot. I'm looking forward to discussing a bit of a subtopic in regards to Ollie Scarles and what it means for Scarles if we were to go ahead and sign Hadji Malick Diouf. But before we get into it, let's do a little bit of a catch-up on what the media are saying in regards to West Ham's pursuit of the Senegal left wing-back. So Thursday night, we had Thomas Souček's mate Yiri saying this is a done deal, but there was a bit of pushback from the English side of things, led by experts and employees saying, no, not quite yet. We're trying to agree something, but nothing's been agreed between West Ham and Slavia Prague. Yesterday, Friday, during the day, the media in Senegal were saying, it's a done deal. He's going to West Ham. This will be the most expensive ever sale from Czechia. He's joining West Ham. So they were Team Yiri at this point. But last night, in the evening, it was coming out in England and in Czech that actually nothing's been agreed yet, but possibly even worse, which is that Slavia Prague have now rejected a second bid from West Ham. In terms of the valuation, I don't think they're too far apart. I think it will be around the £20 million mark. It's just, how's that made up? Is it 17 million plus a potential 3 million of add-ons? By the sound of it, Slavia are holding out for 20 million guaranteed transfer fee, and we are trying to get him a little bit cheaper with the potential to make it up to 20 million depending on the success of him. However, there is something that's been thrown into the equation here by Jacob Steinberg, which I'm going to tell you what my natural reaction was. But before we do that, if you're new to Hammers Chat, please do subscribe. About 2,000 or 3,000 of you watching this video haven't subscribed to the channel. We need a couple of hundred of you to subscribe to hit 44,000. So if 200 of you wouldn't mind subscribing that haven't done so yet, that would be fantastic. Me and my massive spot on my nose would thoroughly enjoy it. And also, please do keep dropping likes on the videos. Comfortably over 1,000 yesterday. Massive thank you. I promise you, it helps the video out. It helps the channel out. But also, it gives content creators a morale boost. Not just me. Keep doing my videos. But if you're watching another video later today, drop me a like on the video as well by clicking the thumbs up button. If you watch this, you go watch Gonzo. Nick, you go over to E20. You go to Bobby Moorstan. You go to West Ham Voice. Go to West Ham World. Or not even West Ham Fan TV, the biggest channel. Or even if you go away from West Ham, whatever content creator you're watching on YouTube and you enjoy, please just drop a like on the video, please. Because from this perspective, from the guy on the camera, I promise you, it gives us a bit of a lift sometimes. You put out a video, you maybe not feeling great, and you see people reacting to it, leaving comments, dropping likes. You think, yeah, you look forward to doing the next one. Makes a bigger difference. Takes you 2 seconds. It's free, but it's priceless. The reaction you get. Anyway, wasn't planning on saying that. There you go. I woke up full of beans on Saturday. I think it's because Oasis is back. I've been watching clips all morning. I'm conflicted. At a gig, I hate people that get their phone out. I take my phone out once. When I'm there, during songs or during a slow part of a song, whatever I'm at, one photo. Just for me. One photo in my pocket. Leave it there. You live in the moment. That's why I always think, live in the moment. Just enjoy it. However, I'm a bit of a hypocrite when it comes to this because post-concert, I love watching all the footage that other people have recorded on their phones. So today, I can't get enough of it. My word, they sound good. It's getting me excited. It's getting me excited. Anyway, Hadji Malick Diouf. So what Jacob Steinberg said yesterday, which was a bit, I hope he's wrong, which is when he put out there saying a deal has been agreed yet, he listed the positions West Ham are looking for, which we'll discuss in another video. But he also said West Ham still need to sell before they buy. He was banging that drum Monday, Tuesday. He was really banging that drum. Boom, boom, boom. Sell before buy, sell before buy, sell before buy. West Ham are in a financial ruin and PSR, they need to sell, they need to sell. Now, I don't believe that aspect of it, the PSR side of it. I believe the cash flow side of it. I believe that because of years of incompetence by the board, that they're out of cash because of short-term loans and short-term robbing Peter to pay Paul. It's caught up with them and they're struggling. I believe that from a cash flow aspect. But because of all the stories, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and it was coming out, maybe we could spend a bit of money. Oh, Sullivan has told a couple of people, oh, we've got bids in for a couple of players. I started to think maybe we are going to do it. Maybe we are just going to sign someone with the belief that we're going to be selling players later on in the window, because we are, aren't we? We will sell players. I am very confident we will sell Mohamed Kudus. It doesn't matter what I want or you want. That's irrelevant. We're predictions now. West Ham will sell Kudus. You might not be happy with where he goes. You might not be happy with the transfer fee. That's not my conversation here. My conversation is, will West Ham sell Kudus? I am 95% sure we will. How sure am I that we will get a good transfer fee? 20% sure. I'm 80% sure I won't be happy with the transfer fee we receive from Mohamed Kudus. You get my point. So we will be bringing in money later on in the window. So I thought maybe we're just going to get the ball rolling now, put ourselves in a good position. You know, replacing Emerson before we sell Emerson. Brilliant. Fantastic. Being proactive. But yesterday, Steinberg said, West Ham still have to sell before they buy. And part of me thought, is this why we haven't agreed a deal yet? This was my natural reaction. My brain said, is this why we're dragging this out? Are we dragging this deal out with Slavia Prague on purpose now? Are we just delaying? So they're saying 20 million, we're going, oh, 17. They go, no, 20. We're going, 17. Maybe we have an intention of buying him and paying what they want, but we're just trying to slow the process down a little bit. We're just trying to delay it so that we can try and get Kudus or a other player, but he's the one most likely. Sell him, get him out the door, and then we can proceed with the purchase of Diouf. That's what my brain's been thinking the last 24 hours. And what a sad state of affairs if that's where we are, that we literally cannot buy someone until someone leaves. Because when we go back to the transfer fee for Kudus, it puts you under immense pressure. You want to be in a position as a football club where you can reject bids. Like Bournemouth with Semenyo, they said 70 million. You don't pay that? Do one. Nottingham Forest with Alanga, 45 million. No, do one. Now, they've gone back with 55 million. And they're negotiating that now. But they were able to reject a big fee for their player because they're in a good position. They know what they want to do this summer. Whereas we're the complete opposite. I think it's that bad, right? If, to pick a club at random, if Brighton rocked up and said 20 million for Wan-Bissaka, I'm not confident our club could reject that. I think they'd want to. But I think they'd sit there and go, oh, we need to consider this because that's profit, that's a respectable transfer bid. I think they'd get a bit shaky. Just like if, say, Liverpool or Newcastle came in and said, Jared Bowen, 80 million, boof, there you go. Am I confident West Ham would turn around and say, no, do one, not for sale? I'm not. I think they'd go, oh, this is a lot of money. Plus, we're struggling to sell players. We're going to have to consider this. What a terrible position to be in. If true, of course, if what Steinberg reports is true. But it's now the 5th of July. We've not signed anyone yet. So the whole, we need to sell before we buy. Until we buy someone without selling them, it's true. Right? If we buy Diouf without selling anyone, when that sell before you buy turns out to be not true. But we'll have to, time will tell. I'm still confident. I feel confident. My stance and my opinion on Diouf is where it was yesterday, which is I believe the interest. I believe we're bidding. I believe we'll be able to sign him if we want to. And I still think it'll happen. I've got a feeling it'll happen. Because Clive and Hugh reported personal terms won't be a problem. 100% won't be. You look at Souček and Soufal, we've got two perfect case studies here. We bought them from Slavia Prague, they were a bit later on in their career than what Diouf is. They're a bit more established, international footballers, brought them in. And we know for a fact that at the end of his West Ham career, Soufal was still on 35 grand a week. 35 grand a week is by far the lowest paid, well, once Ben Johnson left, and if we ignore Wes Foderingham, he was the lowest paid player in the first team. You know, Souček was on a similar wage. He just got rewarded very quickly after winning Ham of the Year and scoring loads of goals and being a big player for us in his first full season in the Premier League. He got financially rewarded off the back of that. West Ham could easily triple, quadruple Diouf's wages just like that, and he'd still be one of the lowest paid players in the first team at West Ham. So personal terms won't be an issue. The issue is dealing with Slavia Prague, Sullivan being the one dealing with him, and also, worryingly, our genuine intent to get this deal done quick. Part of me is just worrying a little bit if we're delaying it on purpose. But my opinion remains the same as it was yesterday and on Friday, on Thursday, which is, I believe, the interest. We'll wait and see. In terms of Ollie Scarles, though, when I did the video yesterday, a few people were saying, oh, what about Scarles? This is bad news. I think this is brilliant news for Ollie Scarles. Signing Diouf on the assumption we sell Emerson. We sell Emerson and we buy Diouf. I think this is really good news for Ollie Scarles, because I don't think he's good enough to start. I don't think Scarles is good enough to be our first choice left back, left wing back next season. But I think he's good enough to have a place in the squad. I think he's good enough to participate in starting some games, coming off the bench in many games. And at the end of the season, if he's got 10 starts and 15 appearances off the bench, I think we can consider that a success. I do think that. I do think if he's got 25 appearances out of 38 and a third of them are starts, I think he's done really well. My hope was, if we do sell Emerson, we bring in someone good enough to be sort of the first choice. Whether that's Diouf or not, I don't know. I don't know the player. But on the assumption that we've identified a half-decent player here and he's good enough to come in and be the starting player, then I think that takes the pressure off Scarles. I think the last thing I want to see is going into next season and Scarles is the first choice left wing back. And if he struggles, if he has a dodgy couple of games, he's got to play the next one because we don't have anyone else. I don't want that. I think Potter handled him really well last season, where he went in, played a couple of good games, kept him in, took him out, put him back in. I think he managed Scarles well. He went missing for a few games before the very end of the season. Apparently there was stuff going on off the pitch, which we don't know about and we shouldn't know about. I think sometimes clarification in regards to, Scarles has got some things going on, so that's why he's not in the squad. I think that's okay, because what it does do is it removes any suspicion of fallouts or just not being liked by Graham Potter. But he came back at the end of the season, so that rumour marries up with reality, which is he was absent for a few weeks, then he came back. I'm just going to give everyone the benefit of the doubt and say that he did have things going on. Potter likes him, but not just Potter. Moyes was a big fan of him as well. Came in at 16, he was in the first team, got injured. Bad time to get injured when you're in the cusp of first team football at a Premier League club. So I would like Scarles to be the second choice left back next season, if you like. But also, and this is important, that just before Christmas, if we were to sign Diouf, we would lose him for 5 weeks. The African Cup of Nations kicks off. The first game kicks off on 21st of December. Senegal's first game is on 23rd of December. So with the assumption he would leave us the 15th of December or something like that, a week before their first game of the tournament. And if they make it through to the final, that's on the 18th of January. So he'd be gone for a month. Diouf would be absent for a month, which is a very busy period as well in the Premier League. You've got a lot of games over the festive period. I haven't counted them. I think there's 5 or 6 games that he would potentially be missing if Senegal were to go on and do well in tournament. There you go. Ollie Scarles. When the season starts, you do all right. You wait your time. I mean, you might even knock him out of the team. Your performances might be that good. You're in on merit anyway. And actually, our second choice left back, who just spent 20 million on, is off to the African Cup of Nations. But assuming that Diouf does all right, well, come the middle of December, Scarles will have a run in the team of maybe 6 games or something. You've got a chance to nick his shirt, so that when he comes back, Potter says, "Well, hang on a minute. He's done well in your absence. He's going to stay in the team now." And that's why I feel like this is good for Ollie Scarles. I think it's good for his development. I think it takes the pressure off him a little bit, because is Scarles going to go on and be a success at West Ham? And a success is doing what Ben Johnson did, playing a couple of 100 games for us, being a squad player for your time here. That's still a success. It's not, you don't have to reach Declan Rice levels to be a successful academy graduate at a Premier League club. That's like the top, isn't it? You come through, you become a key player, you're worth 100 million. That doesn't happen very often. Very, very often. If you can come through and be a squad player in a Premier League club, you've done it, you've made it. You've still got a long way to go, and hopefully you can go on and achieve something, but you've achieved something incredible. So where are we with Scarles right now? I think he looks like a player who is what it reflects reality. He looks like a player with a lot of potential, who could be good enough for the Premier League. He could be good enough to have a Premier League career. He looks inexperienced at times, which he is. That's okay. And he looks like someone that needs a bit of time and a bit of coaching. That's okay. I think I only see positives with Ollie Scarles. And like I said, there are negatives, which is some games he's struggled in. That's okay though. I would expect that. I would expect, even if we signed Diouf for 20 million, this is 20 million quid we're spending on someone here. I would expect him to struggle in some games next season while he's getting used to the Premier League, because he's still only 20 years old himself. It's fine. I think I'd be happy with that pairing, 2 young left backs in the team. I'd be really pleased with that, actually. It's not something that happens very often at West Ham, where you've got 2 players who are likely to improve for the next, well, numerous seasons, season upon season. And if both of them work out, if you sign Diouf and he works out, and Scarles works out, you'd have to buy a left back for over 10 years. That's the ideal situation, right? A bit wishy-washy and dreamy, but that's where we are. So I think potentially signing Diouf is actually good news for Ollie Scarles. I really do believe that. I'm not just making that up. I'm not just saying that to appease people. I don't care if I offend people with my opinions. It's my honest opinions. You're allowed to disagree, but that's where I am. Anyway, the South American press are still banging on about Richard Rios and West Ham. I don't really believe it. Goalkeeper wise, we announced a new goalkeeper coach. Whoop, whoop. But as discussed a couple of weeks ago, it's important for Potter. Potter uses his goalkeeping coach to identify which goalkeepers to buy. We were never going to buy a goalkeeper until we had the goalkeeping coach replacement for Javi Valero at the club, who has joined Liverpool again. He's gone back to Liverpool. So now we've got him in, the goalkeeping coach, we can now get on with which goalkeeper to bring in. Because it's not a long discussion, is it? That goalkeeping coach will be a big fan of goalkeepers already. It's not sit down and go, right, you're going to go on a voyage of discovery. You've got a couple of weeks to start researching and scouting goalkeepers. I would expect a goalkeeping coach to turn up and say, hello, nice to meet you. Thanks for joining West Ham. Which goalkeeper do you think we should get? I would expect that goalkeeping coach to go da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Hopefully not Aaron Ramsdale comes out his mouth, but hopefully he should have a list of names. This is why when we bring in a scout, and people joke, well, it's a bit late, blah, blah, blah. But the thing is, he's not starting from scratch. He's not coming in and loading up the computer going, right, I'm going to begin scouting. I fully expect, if we were to recruit a scout today, 5th of July, right, by the 6th of July, tomorrow, I would expect a list of names on Graham Potter's desk from that scout. Because you're not bringing him in to begin being a scout. You're bringing him in because he's already got knowledge. He's already got a list of players in his back pocket that he thinks would be good enough for West Ham United. Because that's his job. His job is to know players. His job is to identify players. So when you hire a scout, yeah, okay, you'd prefer it was done earlier. You'd prefer he came in January. But if we were to hire a new guy today, I don't see it as a problem. I fully expect him to arrive armed with transfer targets because he's a scout. That's his job. That would be the equivalent of, to flip it round when the argument that it's a bit late to hire scouts and stuff. If you were to hire a manager, that would be like expecting to say, well, for the next 6 months, he's not going to be a manager. He's going to learn how to become a manager. And hopefully by December, he's learnt tactics and he's learnt formations and he knows how to set up at corners and stuff. No, he already knows. He comes with that. That's what you're hiring. You're hiring knowledge. So we were to hire a scout today, we'd be fine. Goalkeeping coach, we've only just hired him, but I fully expect him to arrive with goalkeeping transfer targets in his back pocket. I would expect that was a discussion at the interview process, if there was one. I've got a feeling there wasn't. Potter just said, that's who I like, bring him in. But if there was one, you'd have a discussion around that. Well, who do you think we should sign? This is what I'm looking for in a goalkeeper. Do you know goalkeeper? Yeah, I know them, this guy and that guy. Brilliant, in you come. Let's go get him. Maybe I'm in a dream world. Well, I am. Oasis are back.